Welcome back. Cultural scholar Mbuso Khoza says Ladysmith Black Mambazo's remixed music will help people find their identity. He was speaking at the launch of Amambazo's new song titled You Make Me Happy, a collaboration between himself and internationally acclaimed jazz musician Nduduzo Makhathini. Newsroom Africa's Vusizwe Langa attended that launch.
It's a meeting of a cappella, jazz and amahubo musical giants. It's also a way to attract young people to this musical genre.
We have invited some great producers and DJs to be part of this journey. We are working on something with Umaporisa on the single that we have dropped today and other songs. And we are also working with other young, incredible South African artists that we'll mention later. We have an Afro-tech track on this song, You Make Me Happy. We have a 3-step on You Make Me Happy.
The project began as a conversation between Dr. Nduduzo Makhathini and the group's chief producer, Majozi. For Dr. Makhathini, it's all part of making history.
This is really huge for me, and I'm brought up in the music of Black Mambazo, and it performed a very significant role in terms of giving us orientation as the youth. The 80s, 90s were not the most easiest times in South Africa, and the Mambazo music created a safe space.
The project forms part of recording the origins of our rich history.
This is indeed an astounding moment where Black Mambazo is ascribing value to our culture. You'll remember there were groups in America who were from Africa. Later they were singing called the spirituals. Swing low, oh cherry, oh. You look at ooh, Wang Shiela. It's one and the same thing. So this album now symbolizes the fact that we may say our music, yes, it's outmoded, it's it has lost its touch. That's not true with what we have done. And the name of the album, it's called One World, One Voice. What a beautiful message.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo says it's a dream come true and has dedicated the project to the late founder, Professor Joseph Shabalala.
Masiqhubeka zikhona inhlelo ngoba phela kunentsha kukhona o-DJ esikhulume nabo abakwazi ukuthi ba remix izinto ukuze ikwazi ukuthi ibalande nalabo abasha mase befikile bazothi hawu kwamnandi bese beyakubheka ke ukuthi iphi isukaphi bese kuba khona abakufundayo ngoba emculweni wesintu wonke umculo lapho ufunda khona ngeusiko lwakho abantu uma becula uthola khona iculture yakho lapho.
The album titled One Voice, One World will be released in late October. This November, the 5-time Grammy Award-winning group will share the stage with Dr. Nduduzo Makhathini and Mbuso Khoza at a series of events celebrating their 65th anniversary at the State Theatre. For Newsroom Africa on Channel 405, I am Vusizwe Langa in Johannesburg.
We are now joined by the artists Dr. Nduduzo Makhathini, Mbuso Khoza and Sibongiseni Shabalala. Gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Shabalala, perhaps let's begin with you. I mean, Ladysmith Black Mambazo, 5-time Grammy Award winners, a group that was founded by your father together with other men. What has the journey been like for someone who's watched this group grow over the years and eventually as a young person coming in and bringing in your own flavor?
It's been a great educating journey, growing up in the house with my father, teaching us at a young age to be able to lead the group and sing and be able to compose the songs. And to see the achievement of the group since 1960 up until today, because my father started in 1960, and his vision was to promote our culture, our music, the people of South Africa, the people who have love, the peace and the harmony throughout the world, and wishing that by doing that, people will get encouraged, because it was a time when people were oppressed, and just giving them that hope that someday things will be okay. And the rest is just a cherry on top. The accolades, the Grammys, all the other awards, that is not what my father was aiming at.
Gunning for.
No, it was just to build a nation and bring the people together.
And in building that nation, I'm sure there's been a lot of inspiration as we are seeing artists here, renowned jazz artists, those with vocal expressions. Mbuso, maybe talk to us with regards to this collaboration. I'm sure you grew up at some part listening to Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Did you ever think there would be a collaboration between yourself and them?
Being a head boy growing up in a show, honestly, I've never imagined this. And also moving from a show to Johannesburg, looking for opportunities, I never thought it would get here. It's really big. And looking at Amambazo, they are beyond being a group. They are now a medium where younger people can find themselves, because it's not only American music can define who we are. We have a lot. We have Mikorotlo, Mihobelo, Amahubo, Imilolozelo. These things are untapped. We can't be really looking far when we have a medium that is Black Mambazo.
Certainly. Dr. Makhathini, I mean, you're a renowned spiritual jazz artist. What have the influences been for you, as Mbuso speaking about all these other mediums and genres that are untapped within our musical industry? What has it been for you to be able to take the path that you have taken?
Well, I guess very similar in many ways. I grew up listening to the music of Mambazo, so I come to this music both as a cultural insider and a huge scholar or thinker of this particular genre. And so I think for me, being part of the collaboration is to be given an opportunity to respond to history in many ways, because if we think about what this music symbolizes over very peculiar time periods, and to be given an opportunity to think about what those narratives, what those questions, those problematizations are kind of projecting in this current moment. So to be part of this and to be allowed an opportunity to design a response that would form part of the futures and the ways in which Mambazo can be immortalized. It's something that's profoundly moving for me.
I can imagine.
And so I'm really excited to be a part of it.
So this is a collaboration between spiritual jazz, Iskatamiya, those vocal expressions. Talk to us about You Make Me Happy. This was launched, that single, yesterday. How did that song come about?
It came about as an idea, a song that I had. And then because we are doing a collaboration, you come in and then you lay the song down, your idea, and then the guys, we all contribute. This is our producer, Dr. Makhathini, and Mbuso, we all collaborate to make the song work. It's a very good song, and then we listened to it and said, it would be good to make it a single, because it talks to people, it makes it easy for people to share or to give what they think about whom they are in partnership with. It says, "Kukhona lento yenzayo." There's something that you do to me. When I look at you, when I wake up, I think about you. That is when you wake up and say, "Morning, babe. good night, babe. You
So
know,
beautiful love
every
song.
time you think about that person. But it's not only about love, it's about, you know, family and people all around that you always think good things about other people. Yeah.
Mbuso, you're very strong on identity, especially within the African context and with young people having to know and find themselves. How important is that in translating it through music as it's a universal language, like they always say? Do you find that young people are taking information from the music that is produced, especially locally, with regards to finding who they are?
Identity, obviously, is what you grew up identifying with things around you. Oh, Qomboti, Uksina, Uhuba, Statamia. But now, if you were to look at the youth where they should go, they need not a blank check, they need guidance. Meaning those who came before us, they made sure that they gave us imlolozelo, they gave us impoloho. Impoloho is from polka. So imagine if we were to look at Shabalala, Black Mambazo, and say, if one day in Joburg were to have a Mambazo center where if you really, really want to know about Istatamia, Uqatama, what is Uqatama, as from the hunting era, when people were hunting, so now Uksungbala, Uksina, all of these are the identities of who we are when we're evolving from the caves up to agrarian culture, up to industrialized culture. Onomathemba is Mayan. You see, Amambazo is a channel. They are beyond a group. What we are doing really for me is the tip of the iceberg. Maybe it's an iceberg. But all I'm saying, we are hoping that younger people will be really starting to look up to Amambazo.
Certainly. Dr. Makhathini, I mean, we are celebrating Women's Day today. It's the 9th of August. Right. What role do you believe women, in support of men, should be playing with regards to preserving that cultural heritage?
It's quite apt that you should ask that question. Part of the media launch yesterday and part of the discussions and interviews were about the role played by Shabalala in the life of Shabalala right. and the mentoring of the then generations that followed. There is a very central place of women, not just in terms of like our family structure, but it informs what Makhathini calls our identity and further our cosmology in a sense that our symbolisms and our worldviews are quite feminine in their nature. Last year, I think the year before, I spent an entire year working on a project called Unomkubulwane, which was a way to really locate man as being produced from a feminine energy. So I think even this song, it returns to that place. So there's a sense in which the feminine in the Mambazo music, Onomathemba, over time, has been really a kind of framework to think about how we locate ourselves in the world. So I think it's quite relevant that we do a song that talks about the everyday and the ways in which we appreciate our daughters, our mothers, our wives. So it's all really part of the music.
It certainly is. Sibongiseni, you had a front row seat at seeing Shabalala just pour her love and support for Shabalala in building this legacy. What was it like for you as a child in witnessing that?
It was very great to see the support and where we are today. Our father taught us to sing, and he gave us everything according to music. But his wish was for us to be educated because his father died before when he was young, and my grandfather, his wish was for my father to be very well educated up to a point where he will get on an aeroplane to fly and go somewhere, and then my grandfather will sit and say, Big Zizwe left, and now I think he's landing somewhere. But that wish for my grandfather, for my father didn't happen. So my father wanted us to be educated as much as he was teaching us the basics of the music and all. But my mother, her thing was that we must join our father and keep this legacy that my father is building. That was her point, that you see what your father is doing, you must go help your father. You must go help your father. This side, my father is teaching us, but he wants us to get the education. So my mother, she played a very big role in the family and for this legacy to go on.
And in the music itself.
For encouraging us to be part of my father's work.
That is so beautiful. Mbuso, we know that Ladysmith Black Mambazo has got global appeal. What advice would you have to young artists today in not losing themselves in who they are and their identity and the music they produce, but also being able to speak to global audiences?
I think it's a balance, and hang on to no culture, develop a global culture. Your culture from home is your ego that builds you to stand. But now that you know no longer need it, then you need to keep flowing. But if you think you're going to hang on to one thing, then it's a problem.
It certainly is. Gentlemen, before I let you go, could we just whet the appetite of our audiences with a snippet of the single that was released yesterday?
Athi hayiwe nikhona lento yenzayo hayiwe nikhona lento yenzayo nikhona lento yenza ki hayibo ikhona lento ngoma ngivuka ngicabanga ngoma ngilala ngicabanga athi khona lento yenzayo hayibo ikhona lento yenzayo.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best with that. That was the artist, Dr. Nduduzo Makhathini, Mbuso Khoza, and Sibongiseni Shabalala joining us in studio off the back of the release of that latest single, You Make Me Happy. All right, let's now take you for a quick ad break. We'll be back with more after this.